Yes, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good morning.
We're doing some setup. Sorry, I got held up in a certain. I got up in another meeting. That's why I got held up. But so I don't know who else is
No
joining
worries.
us, or maybe are we the only ones doing the training for today? So do you have any other colleagues that will be joining us so that I know whether we can start or we just wait for them first? Mukungu, sorry, are you there? So I need to get a feedback from you so that we can know whether we can proceed. And I can't hear you. So you confirm. Confirm your audio side. Yes. Is everything okay?
Yes, all is well on my end.
So you're the only one who will be joining?
Correct. Yes, I'll be joining from ITI Africa.
Okay. Okay, then I think we'll begin. So I don't know, some of the topics that you guys wanted to be covered, maybe you can tell me.
So basically, I think the main issue was we wanted to have like a little tutorial on how to operate the cameras and the DVR,
Okay.
so we can do some, so we can give some help to the customers over here.
Okay, fine. So we do a basic operation.
Correct. Yeah, basic operations and just you know, a little bit of the general inputs that we may need for the customer to be able to help them. For instance, you know, setting up the DVR or helping them focus on a certain point while they're operating the cameras. You know, those type of things.
Okay. So I'll cover adding cameras to NVR.
Okay.
Other functions like the display functions of NVR, that is, you're trying to improve the images of the camera displaying on the screen.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and also we'll also do a bit of recording.
Okay.
So configuring motion recording, configuring general recording, how do you go about the recording settings?
Correct.
So I think
Okay.
for a start, that will be okay.
Okay.
Yes. So at this point, I have, let me just share with you my screen. I have one NVR with me.
Okay.
So I'm sharing with you config tool. So you need to have a config tool. Most of the times it's because the software is necessary for debugging, troubleshooting. So you need to have config tool with you. So if you're going to do Dawa products, config tool comes in very handy in doing such. So in terms of changing IP addresses of cameras, in terms of also doing configuration for cameras, the tool is quite handy for the same. So are you familiar with this tool, or we go through it just brief with it?
If we can go through it real, like, you know, just an overall view of the tool, that would help.
Okay, so what config tool basically does is discovering Dawa products in your network, and after discovering, you can do a bit of configuration. So some products that do support configuration from config tool, others only minimal configuration. So the tool is free. You can just Google the word config tool. You'll go to the wiki, download it.
Okay.
So we have Windows, and I think we have how many platforms? So we have about 3 platforms. Okay.
Okay.
It's free. So I think later we will later come and do the softwares that we have. So because today's session was more of NPR and IPC, we later will come and do a session on Dawa software, the software that we offer as a company. But for today, we just talk about config tool. So config tool discovers devices in your network segment or other network segment. And if you see at this point, I can refresh and I can see about 3 devices in my network. So the way it works, I have a switch with me here. And with the switch, I have a camera connected to that switch and an NVR connected to that same switch. So the switch is powering the camera. And this other device called BSC is an access controller, which is connected to our network. So it's connected to the router, that is. So it's a face recognition access controller. So we're not going to dwell on this. We're just going to talk about these two, the last two. The software. So we have the name here, and if you search a product in the network, it will give you the total number of devices it has acquired in the network. We have this button called search settings. So search settings enables you to either search in your network segment or in another network segment. That is, you may be having VLANs in a switches, or maybe different network segments. So you can check this option and be able to search in that particular network segment. If you're going to do configuration on a device, let's say a camera, or change the IP address of an NVR, you need to input the username and the password for that specific device. So the information you put is here. So basically, when you're going to do a changing of IP address, this information will be used to log into the device, execute the command for changing the IP address, etc. So at this point, because I am in the same network segment as my switch and camera, I'm just going to select my current network segment. So I've entered the username and password for the camera and NVR.
Okay.
And next, we have this other option. So you can have the manual, maybe get to know about some of the Q&As. So it will just open a PDF file for the same. I think something that you can check. Also, something else.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Sorry?
No, your network was breaking up a little bit. I lost the last tool you were showing inside of config tool. The one on the upper right corner, it kind of broke up. The sound broke up, so I couldn't hear it properly. Yes.
Sorry. Okay, let me just pull a cable. Give me a minute.
Sure.
So I was saying this tab here will you have the manual.
Yes.
Then you can check about Q&A, confirm about version. Then, so really you use this interface for the compatibility mode and settings. So this one just if you're going to do advanced issues. So on the left side we have the modify IP.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So on the modify IP tab,
yes,
you will typically have the list of devices in your network. Apart from that, you'll be able to change the IP addresses of the device. So it's good for each time you're going to do configuration for CCTV, you change the IP addresses of device because conflict in a network might give you a problem and you might not even see some devices here. So for this case, if you see for this NVR, the default IP address is 108. And also most of the devices that we have come out with a default IP address of 108. So you need to modify such information. So I'm going
for
to
the local network.
Yes. So most of the IP devices, all the cameras, all NVRs come with a default of 108. So if you don't change that one, and you're doing a large number of devices, you will have a problem.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to just change it.
A conflict. Okay.
Yes, to 13. So you can see you can modify the IP address of the device here. And you ensure you have used the username and password of the device at this point.
Yes.
So apart from that, anything else from this tab you can do is called initializing. So most of the IP products when purchased, they don't have password. You can initialize from this tab here.
I'm sorry, that's still in modify IP, right?
Yeah, that one was modifying IP.
Okay, yes. It's still under the modify IP where we can initialize, right?
Yes, let me just show you. Let me reset one device there so that you can initialize it again.
Okay.
So let me reset one camera. So you can see I'm trying to restore this camera IP address. Restore default. It's telling me that you can see the error here. It's telling me that connection failed.
Yes.
The reason as to why is because I'm in a different segment with that camera. So let me just quickly change the IP address of my computer to that.
Okay.
And I see to that network segment for that camera. So I've set my IP address to network segment of 2, and it has worked.
Yes, yes.
So most of the times you need to ensure you are in the same segment to do configurations. So the camera will go to the default of 108. So just wait for it to reboot. Then you can see initializing. So it has reboot. So you can see we can only see 2 devices. Waiting for the third one to show up.
To show up, I see.
Yes. So maybe as we proceed, we can just proceed while it restarts. The other tab is called the device upgrade.
Yeah.
So you might be facing issues with your firmware,
yes,
or some small problems. You can use this tab to upgrade your device. So what you would do, you would go to our website. That is the security.
Yes.
Let me just share the screen. So you go to the security, and after going to the website, you just go to maybe a camera or an NVR. Let me just take an example of an NVR. So you can say NVR 58, and even select this one. 5832-I.
Yes.
So you go to firmware. After going to the model, you confirm the model is exact that you wanted. You go to firmware. You can see you'll have a file here. So you download the file. So after downloading the file, this one is quite large, about 800 MB. So after downloading the file, what you do, you extract the file, come here to device upgrade. You click this folder. So you go to that file that you downloaded, extracted, download the file that you extracted after downloading. Then you select the biggest file, a name like this. So you define a name like this, and then the firmware version, then .bin, not language.bin. You select that file, then come and do upgrade. It's just simple like that. So that is for upgrading. So you can go back to, so you can go back to initializing the camera. So you can see after just purchasing a new camera, it will be a default of this. So no password, no username. So you need to be able to check that parameters. So there are 2 ways to upgrade a camera. So you can use the NVR to upgrade to initialize the camera, or you can use the config tool.
Okay.
So for my case, I think.
Okay. Wait, can you say that again? You can use the NVR or the config tool to upgrade the camera? To initialize.
To initialize.
To initialize. Okay. Okay.
Yes, but for my case, I feel like it's always good to use the config tool, and it's easier. But for the case maybe where you have you have limited, like you don't have a computer, you can use the NVR to initialize.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah. So let me cover the config tool initializing. So if you want to initialize with config tool, you select the device that is an initialized state. Let me share. So if you want to initialize a device using config tool, you select the device that is initialized after searching in your network. Then you click initialize this point here. So just a next step. Enter the password. So you can use the email or not, but it's good to set the email for the purposes of resetting and resetting password.
Okay.
So you can see you'll get a tick if it's it will show you the error, which error is, but most of the cases will not face these issues. So that's one way of initializing the camera using config tool. So next I'll cover initializing using NVR when we talked about the webinar. Let me just talk about the device configuration tab. So for upgrade, you select the file. After in upgrade tab, you select the device that you want to upgrade if you're going to do batch. But if you are upgrading one single device like this one, after downloading the firmware, you click this this button, then locate the extracted file. So you extract the files into a folder, locate a file name like this. So it will be like general NVR 5xx blah blah blah. So the version of it then .bin.
Okay.
Yes. So that is regarding upgrading a device.
I see.
Yes. Also, apart from the upgrade, we talk a bit about device config. So this device config tab is about configuration of devices in your network, but it does not apply to all. Not all devices. Not all IP products will let me put it like allow you to configure most of its parameters
inside of the device config.
Yes. So some devices like cameras will allow you to do configurations, while like this one, ACS is an access controller, will give you limited configurations. So we just check about cameras. So what you do, just double click the device after ensuring the username and password is okay here. So if you select the camera for this case, you can see you can configure properties like the channel. You can do like basically most of the configurations for cameras. You can even check the image, how it looks like.
After it's been configured.
Sorry?
So we can see the image after we've configured it, or we can see it before we've configured it.
You can see the image at config tool.
Oh, during configuration or after it's been configured?
After after initializing the camera.
Yes.
You'll be able. These are the configuration that you can be able to change in there.
To do okay. So first we need to initialize it, then we can access the image.
Yes, you need to initialize it first so that you can access other settings.
Okay, got you.
Yes. So you can see different profiles. You can say either it's night, whether it's day. Okay, so we'll talk about these settings when you are covering in the NVR interface. This from the NVR interface is much convenient.
Yes.
So maybe we check just some of the settings the NVR allows us to configure.
Okay.
So after double clicking, it will fetch the information. It will tell you. So it will give you just some very little information. So the same way, the same applies to access controller. So if you check access controller, you can see only limited configurations from the access controller.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe other parts of the config tool, we have this called system settings. So system settings is important because you can do some parameters like setting time, which is very important while doing CCTV surveillance. Because sometimes you might be facing an issue where you're trying to search a footage, you cannot find it. Maybe the camera is skipping some parts while recording. So time is very important while doing configuration for NVR and the cameras.
And the cameras, okay.
Yes. So if you have maybe a lot of cameras here and maybe a lot of NVRs and all of them have the same password, what you can do is just select the devices and even set sync PC. Means it will sync the time for the computer and you'll see the result here. Also,
I see.
If you're not going to do internet and such information, you can disable this DHC. You can ensure it's disabled for both devices, because you might find a situation where you have cameras updating their own time. So you have those variations.
Yes.
You can disable such kind of servers. Also ensure that you are using in the correct the time zone for your country. So after doing that, just set the information, click save, confirm the information, you click save. Also, you ensure you don't have the NTP. So you can disable the NTP to avoid discrepancies in time.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Also, some other functions like auto reboot are in this this kind of settings. So you can still configure such and such from the config tool. So functions like doing factory default, you can even reset the device's default from config tool. Let me just talk about password reset.
Okay.
So password reset is in case you have clients that have issues with password reset. So maybe if they remember their password, and for you to set, you can just select the device. If you're going to do quite a number of devices, do batch reset. But if you're going to do one, click on the reset for that device. So it will tell you that you don't have an email result. So you do not set an email for the device. You need to do XML. So for that case, it will export an XML file. So the camera will export an XML file. You can be sending the files to us because we have a technical team here, which will help you to, which will decrypt the information, then send back to you. Or optionally, if you have an enterprise email or a domain email, you can let me just show you something. You can there is this email that you need to send. That you see this support._GWRP.
Yes.
So you can use that email and send that exported file to this. It's an automatic email. So you can send that XML file to this email. Then it will reply with the decrypted file.
Oh, I see. And he'll reply with the decrypted. Okay.
Yes. So it will send you back a decrypted file so that you can reset your device. But if you face any issues trying to do such and such, you can feel free to you can contact us anytime. We can help you. So the other parts we're not going to cover this too. It's not of essence as much to this regarding this training, because this one is for video intercom cases. Maybe later when you're going to do video intercom products training, you can cover that.
Okay.
Yes. So let me just for this case, I'm going to use the web interface for the NVR because we're not in the same. It's local, so let me use the web interface for the NVR to do configurations.
Okay.
So this is the IP address of the NVR and the.
Yes.
And sorry, just loading. So the NVR has an IP address of 13, not 108, as I.
Yes.
Yes. So 13. So you can see. So 13, I'll log in with the username and password that I had set. So I initialize the NVR from the config tool using a username and admin password admin one.
Yes.
So giving me an error of no HDD, so no problem. So the physical interface, like what you get on the screen from the NVR is something like this. If you're like if you're having a screen, you'd have something like this. So you can do live view.
Yes.
So for my case, I'm having this one is a 32 channel.
That's a PTZ, right?
So this one is a PTZ control.
Okay.
Yes, just used for PTZ control purposes. So if you have a PTZ in your network, you can use it to do PTZ control functions.
I see.
Yes, but you can optionally set the PTZ to be automatically rotating by itself.
Oh, how do we do that? It's just in setting you put to auto or something, or
no. There's a certain settings you need to put. I think I'll cover it. I'll see whether you can cover it.
Okay, that'll be great. Thank you.
Yes. So we have the live view, which is used for real-time viewing of the devices in your network. We have playback, which is responsible for searching the files recorded from in the NVR.
And that's where setting the date is important, right? The date and time.
Exactly. So we also have the AI functions.
Yes.
So we'll talk about this AI. Then we have the alarm responsible for checking state. You can do video detection alarms. So we can have maybe you don't have HDD in your computer, in your NVR.
Yes.
So you can have alarms on the same. So if I turn this on, you can hear some beep in the background.
Yes.
Because I'm having an alarm for no HDD in there. To trigger an alarm, that is the beep.
Oh, so basically, so what? You'll say that the hard drive is full or something, or?
I don't have an hard disk connected to this device.
Oh, okay. So, but if we select, like, let's say, for instance, if you go back to the enabled event type, the event type on the alarm.
Type.
Oh, no, on the alarm. I saw that, right there. There's a HDD error, no space, or
if
RAID alarm. So
if the hard disk becomes full, you can have alarm on the same. If you're having a RAID devices that support quite a number of hard disks, like even up to 8 hard disks, and you have configured RAID, and maybe the RAID has a problem, you can have alarms on the same. So you can have alarms on storage devices. You can have alarms on network. So in network, maybe if there is an IP conflict or a MAC conflict, you can have alarms on the same. And you can also have alarms in terms of users when users tries to illegally log into the device. So you can have alarms.
Oh, that's great to know.
Also, alarms other alarms include device related alarms like fan speed, or maybe there's a security in the network problem.
I see. That's great.
Okay. Also, we can do point of sale. So point of sale is a function aimed for retail businesses. So like SMD business, and you want to monitor the point of sale function. It's more focused on point of sale, like strictly monitoring the point of sale point. If you get
like cash registers and
exactly
stuff like
yes. I will cover this in a different session. In operation, operation generally means operations related to the device. That is, you want to fetch maybe logs in the NVR. You want to know what configurations was done. So you can in terms of logs, you can check the system logs, configuration logs. You can check the storage logs, and even connection, etc. If there was a connection problem, maybe one camera became off, you can search for such information.
I see.
So information gives you the information of your device. That is, you can check the model, the firmware version, etc. You can even check the hard disk. You can check your cameras, how your cameras are consuming the bandwidth in the network.
Yes.
And also the hard disk information. So basically information about the system. In terms of network, you can see how many people are logged into the device. Also, we have maintain system maintenance. So you can do rebooting, auto rebooting, and auto maintenance. You can set the device to default. That is, you can set the camera defaults. You can confirm network defaults. That is basically resetting this device from the local interface. Apart from that, you can also do an upgrade. So the newer models of NVR support checking the upgrade of the device via internet. So you can see that it's in the latest version because it's checking it on the internet and confirming that. So you can do automatic update from the network without downloading the file. So
without loading the XML file.
Upgrade. I mean upgrade.
Oh, just the regular upgrade. Okay.
Yes, a regular upgrade from your screen and mouse and the NVR.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Also, you can reset the device without XML file from the local interface of the device.
In the system maintenance.
Yes. Here in maintenance, you go to operation, then there is default. So you can select. You want to reset the network. You want to reset the event. You want to reset the storage, the system to default. You can do that.
Yes. Okay, gotcha.
It's here at the bottom.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So we'll be. I think we can start by adding a. We can go to adding a camera to the device. So that's the overview.
Yes.
Oh, also, let me just cover another thing. So there's this other menu here. There is the display. So the display is responsible for managing basically display information.
Yes.
Like this NVR model supports 2 HDMI outputs.
Yes.
So you can enable or disable the other HDMI output.
I have a quick question regarding the display.
Yes.
So we had on the main screen, we had all the cameras displaying, and they wanted to, when they switch from the main screen, they wanted to put like an image, one camera on the main screen, and they wanted to switch the main view in all the cameras to be on the sub screen. But we weren't sure how to do that, how to flip it, you know.
I'll send you a video on how to do that.
Great.
It's something that you need to do locally. And at this point,
locally, great. Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, you can change the resolution of the
display.
Yes, of the display, because this one supports up to other supports even up to 4K. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like also this one supports 4K for screen 2. So you have different resolution.
Gotcha.
Apart from that, other functions are just about your custom. These are the most important ones, the first two. That is just for customization.
What is the test temperature? Is just for the infrared cameras, or?
Sorry?
At the bottom of the screen, there's test temperature.
So because
the check mark,
this version of NVR can do the thermal cameras. That is cameras that can do temperature.
Yes.
That's why we have this option for test temperature.
So you'll just like run a
on the
test
screen.
on the camera.
On the screen, it will display the information of the thermal camera. I see. Basically, like trying to make it easier for you to view the temperatures for the environment. You're going to do monitoring region.
I see.
You see that the same way you will do face recognition.
Yes.
Each time you are recognizing someone on the screen, it shows the face of the someone, comparing, etc. Those information.
Yeah.
Just
oh,
like,
I see.
Same with the
like that. I see. Okay. I see.
Okay. Now, for audio, it's just about audio interface. If you are going to plug audio device to NVR, but most of the cameras come with audio support. So rarely would you interact with this. So the audio information is being transmitted using the network cable.
Yes.
Okay. So can we take a break, then we come back to about 5 minutes?
Sure, thank you.
5 minutes, then 5 minutes, then we come back and do now the NVR, adding cameras, etc., and other functions.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Okay, so what you will do, you re-click the link and join with that link again.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.